Hi guys, welcome back to Handmade with Tara. My name is Tara. I am a stay-at-home mom and independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I have been doing this for a little over a year and I absolutely love it so much. So I just want to go ahead and early on give you my shopping link here and host code here. If you see anything that you like and you want to grab it, today is a great day to shop in my store. And okay, so today what I have for you is a workshop featuring these 3 fun fold cards using the Spring Blessings stamp set. So in the mini catalog for January to April 2023, that is where you will find the set. It is on page 19. And so this is the set that I'm working with here. And it has the information down at the bottom, what the stamp code is right here, how much it costs, and all of the different suggested stamps that they have for these different little pieces here. So, and then the greetings are happy for you, it's your birthday, hoping this spring brings you many blessings, thank you, and hello. So I really had a lot of fun playing with this set. It's definitely been a challenge as far as placement, and it's definitely going to be an advanced class tonight for sure. So I will go ahead and get started without further ado and just jump right into card number 1, which is this card here. So just to give you an idea about what we're doing here, this is what it's going to look like. And when you open it, it's a little fun fold, just like that. So I don't know, I just thought that that was a really neat card. I thought it looked really beautiful, but also it just has like a little tiny sentiment place. So I just love that. And you can do it this way or you can do it this way. Obviously, I think you can put this either way too. Like you can have the fold either way. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump right into this first card. Okay, let's see. Hopefully it won't get interrupted tonight, but you never know when you have 3 small kids, like who's going to be waking up. I try to do everything at night so that I don't get interrupted, but I still sometimes get interrupted. First of all, I like to always write down the measurements and the scores for everything that I do, just to make it easy for you to follow along. So, and I like to kind of like layer it all out and show you. Okay, so if you need to stop the video and pause the video so that you can get all those measurements. And then I also did a cardstock. A normal cardstock cut 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So let me see if I can fit this on here. Here, let's see if I can. So these 2 pieces are essentially the same. So I have 2 pieces of cardstock cut 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So I can kind of cover that up. There's 2 of these. But that way you can see. All right, and then this is the Dainty Design, the Dainty Flowers 12 by 12 paper. That's where the paper came from, and that was a free paper with Celebration this month. So Celebration actually ends tonight at midnight, or actually I think we get a little bit more time because it's on Mountain Time. So just it ends probably at like 2 a.m. or something like this. But I do have extra paper just in case anybody didn't get any. So contact me if you'd like to get some more of this paper. All right, so those are all the different measurements, and let's start building this card. Let me just show you. It's such a cute card, and it's a super easy design. So first of all, let's go ahead and build this. So I'm just gonna take these off. So this one is the only one I have to do something with. So it says cardstock cut and scored, which I already did. So it's cut and scored. This is a normal card back. And then now cuts one side diagonal from corner to corner. So, and then I definitely want to make sure that this is going to be lined up. So if I'm doing it like this, which is how I did the other card, which I'll do this one exactly the same so you can see. But yeah, so I'm going to do from this corner to this corner. Or I could also do it the opposite way. No, I think, because you could use this side, but then the design of the flowers isn't right. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go from this side to this side. So I'm just going to use my paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut from corner to corner here. Let's see if I can do this easily. So, let's see. So I always keep my cut on one side, my score on the other. So this is going to end up going like that. So I want to make sure that I do it the right way, because that is super important. Otherwise, you're going to be off and you're going to have to cut more paper, which is fine, but it's not the worst thing in the world. But if we can prevent that, let's prevent that. So what I'm doing is I'm following from this score line right here all the way to the corner here. So, and then once I have that in there, I can just cut that off. Just like that. So this I can save for another project or scrap paper or whatever. Oh, you know what? I pushed that down into that too much because I was, okay, well, that's on me, but I can fix it, I think. Okay. So now my card looks like this, right? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, so this one was 4 by 5 1/4 cut diagonally like that. So, and then I saved the other side of it, so I don't need that side of it, but I'm going to go ahead and glue this right onto this front right here, or you can use your Stampin' Seal. A lot of the projects, I use a lot of the same tools. So tools meaning like my snips, my scissors, my take your pick tool, my Simply Chamois, my multi-purpose glue, my bone folder, and I think that, and then obviously my blocks and stuff like that. So, and then this one's just going to go on there, and you just kind of move it around with the glue. Is very forgiving as far as like making it so it looks straight and organized here. And then we're going to press that down. Nice and easy. Don't go crazy with this glue. It comes out really, really fast if you're new and you've never used the glue, or this is one of the projects that you're having a hard time with. So, or one of the projects that you're just starting out with. Like, let me try this new card fun fold design. So I love fun folds. They always make me happy when they go together. And this class is inspired by a friend of mine who does junk journals. And so I am super excited because I try to think of like some funkier like designs of cards. I don't know. I was inspired by my friend who does junk journals. So I thought that these kind of fun folds would like, create some interest, right? So now this one is a colored cardstock, and I believe that it's Blushing Bride. So the way that I pick all of the colors, obviously I use this designer paper, the Dainty Flowered Designer Paper. On the back of the Dainty paper, it says right here, if you can see that, it says Blushing Bride, Crushed Curry, Fresh Freesia, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Rich Raspberry, and Starry Sky. All of these are colors that will coordinate with this designer series paper, or DSP for short. So this is probably Blushing Bride, and this is cut 3 by 8, scored at 4. And so this piece obviously is going to go right in here. So how I did this, so I don't glue it down yet. I kind of organize it so that it's right where this lines up with this, where this lines up with this. So this side of the card right by the score line lines up with that diagonal line. and the bottom lines up with the diagonal line, and that's where you want to glue it down. So I'm going to do my best to get this where it's supposed to go. So you just want to put some glue on the back here, just on one side, the side that's going to get glued down. And then the glue is way more forgiving than the Stamp and Seal as far as like being able to move it after you put it down. So I'm going to put it like guesstimate there, and then I'm just going to put that down so that I can wiggle until it's where I want it to be. Hope that you keep the glue kind of to the middle of the paper. And then I'm just going to push that down. So hopefully there's no like glue like up here or down here. So, and it's not like perfectly centered, but that's okay because that just makes it more interesting. Like you definitely can play around with this a lot. This kind of fun design, right? And then these two are the two that are similar, that are exactly the same. One's 2 3/4 and the other one's 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. They're both the same. So, and one of them is going to be our insert here, and then the other is going to be the insert or the top piece that goes up here. So, and then it's going to fold, boom, 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 kind of like a fun, funky fold, right? Okay, so that's going to go in there. But before you do this step on the white, we're definitely going to stamp first, because if you mess up, you can always cut another piece of white. But once you glue it down, then you have to start from the very beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp these. So first of all, I'm going to use the little flowers from this set. Let me grab them and put them on a block. I use the Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm going to get a couple of flowers in the corners of my insert. And then again, I'm going to bring in all of the colors that I previously said from the Dainty design. So I can use any of these colors on the back of this designer series paper. Remember that Blushing Bride, Crushed Curry, Fresh Freesia, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Rich Raspberry, or Starry Sky. So let's just see. I think I used the Blushing Bride. So I'm going to grab that first. I'm lying. I didn't use Blushing Bride. I don't even have that color. Well, let's see what I have. Fresh Freesia. Let's do that. Fresh Freesia. There we go. So with the Fresh Freesia, so it says right here, Light Fresh Freesia, this is a Stampin' Up blend. And one side is like a marker, the other side's like a paintbrush. So I'm just gonna paint in these little flowers right here. I'm gonna do it pretty quickly because I have 3 cards to get through and they're all fun designs. So I definitely don't want to dawdle here. Just pause the video if you need to catch up. I totally don't, I will never get offended for you getting done. Okay, and then, oh, I found Light Mossy Meadow, so let's do this one. So Light Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to do the little cute, and it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. I love handmade cards. Everyone who I've ever sent them to has been super appreciative and has loved them. So, and it's because it's made from the heart, you know, you don't ever look too closely at it and say, you know, oh my God, this is terrible. People are way more forgiving, especially if they're getting a handmade card from you. There's probably a reason, right? So, okay, so this is going to be my insert. So I can go ahead, since I've stamped this and colored this, I'm going to go ahead and use my glue, which is definitely my adhesive of choice because it's so forgiving and you can wiggle and wobble until you get things where you want them. But this is going to go inside here. And now this little insert is ready for your sentiment, whatever you want to write to whoever the recipient is, right? So obviously you want to pay attention to directional too, like paper. So obviously this card is going to look this way because of this paper here that says. So that's why I kind of just made these like very simple designs so you didn't have to think too much about where they were or anything. And then I'm just going to take my bone folder and push that score line. I'm going to varnish, fold and varnish, right? So that stays down. And then, so now we're going to do the next part, which is, let me just show you how completely simple and easy this is to do. So what I do is I grab my blending brushes. So blending brushes, and I have one for each color that I'm about to use. And so this is the part that I'm going to do it first. So you want to go very, very light. Very, very light. So crushed curry is one of the colors in this set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of this. So I just take my blending brush, I put it in here. I always do it off of the paper first because it makes like a smudge. And then I do circles like this, and then I bring it slightly on to the top of my paper here and just add a little bit of color. Just like this, not too crazy. Don't push too hard. I'm pushing very, very, very gently, very, very light to the top of this card. Just like that. That's all I'm doing with this. Then I'm going to take the Old Olive, which is another one that will coordinate with this set. I'm going to use the green, and I'm going to come in from the bottom. So same idea. So I start off of my paper, do lots of circles until it looks even, where it's not making any smudges, and then you can bring it right over to the paper. And I'm just going to make a little grassy bottom here, just like that. So easy. I'm pushing very, very lightly, and then I leave a white in the middle, and that's actually going to end up being blue. So I actually used Balmy Blue because I think that Starry Sky and all the other colors that go with this are just too dark. So I took Balmy Blue, and I did Balmy Blue, which is one of my favorite blues here. I love this color. It's just super versatile, and you can do so much with this. I think that you can do that with everything. Greens are probably all my favorite. I like the greens the best, but out of the blues, I'm digging this Balmy Blue. So I'm doing it until it looks even. Then I'm just going to take it right across the middle, give it a little bit of blue. Well, you can see I didn't get it quite right. See, there's like a little bit of smudges because I didn't get it even all the way around. So I just need to be more careful. Try to be a little bit more gentle. Get that blue in the middle. So it's kind of I'm painting a scene here. All right, but super easy way to get a little bit of background color before I stamp my designs here. Okay, so on this one, obviously the sun is gonna go on the top, grass on the bottom, and then I did the Memento black, and then I'm gonna stamp both of the girls from this set. So get them nice and inked up. And then, so one on one side of the card. And I kind of did her really close to the edge. And I actually think, you know what, before I stamp this down, I'm going to do my sentiment. So I'll do my sentiment first, just so that I can line the girls up properly. So get that nice and inked up. Photopolymer stamps are awesome because you can see through, so you can get that nice clear print. And I did it right at the top of this page. And then look at that, like it just, you can see what it's gonna look like before. And don't lift, I would just firmly press, try not to rock it, and then you get a nice clear print. And then let me come back to this girl number 1 here. And I'm going to take her, and she's going to be on one side as if she's decorating for spring. Look at that. And then I'm going to take the other girl and I'm going to do the other side. And she's going to be hanging up the picture or the blessings from this side. So nice firm print, no rocking, just kind of move my fingers around the like lines of it just to make sure that it's all a beautiful print. Awesome. Came out great. And then I added a cute little bunny. I'm obsessed with this bunny. It's so cute. Perfect for spring, right? So we'll put the little bunny in the grass in between my girls. Nice firm push. And the bunny is checking out some butterflies. So we're just gonna put some little butterflies right here in the blue sky. Just a firm push, and we'll see, you can tell I rocked it a little bit there. Hopefully when I color it in, you won't be able to see that as much. So, and it looks like it's already colored in. Like this is pretty just like it is. You could totally leave it like this, or you can go ahead and use your blending brushes and color everything in however you like. So I just started coloring. You can make the dresses look however you like them to look. This is So Saffron. I'm just using the So Saffron here on this dress, and obviously you don't need to watch me color if you have an idea of how you'd like this to look for yourself. So you can just fast forward on to the next part of the video and get to the part where you need. So there's one girl. Then the other girl I did in a balmy blue dress. So let me get my balmy blue. So if you are copying along with me and you want it to look exactly like mine looks, this is what I did. And I'm gonna try to be quick about it. So, and I can always come back and shade. So these are awesome. The blends have a light and a dark, so you can do some awesome shading. So you will see less lines. I know. I'm almost needing to get a new balmy blue, aren't I? This one's getting dried out. And this one, I used a little bit of the petal pink. Well, so that's the marker side, but petal pink for the little flowers in the hair. And this is Blackberry Bliss. Or I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters, but I'm gonna do this Blackberry Bliss for these butterflies. See if I can't fix. See, look at that. You can't even see where I messed up. So forgiving. Hey, look at that. You cannot even tell. I can't tell. Maybe you can tell, but I can't tell. And then I'm gonna do I like this dark. Let's do either crumb cake. Crumb cake looks nice. I think crumb cake. I think I did soft suede on the other bunny that I did. So let's do crumb cake on this one. Oh yeah, that's dark, but that looks good. I like it. We'll have a cute little brown bunny. And then I left his ear like a little bit so I could do pink on the inside of his ear. I'm gonna pull that light petal pink again, right there in the ear. And then the last thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some of the skin tones to fill in the color of this girl's. So this is a medium 600. So let's see what this looks like. So we'll do a medium 600. I just realized when I was doing this card that I don't have all of the skin tones yet, but I do have a couple. I need to order a couple more. So there's one, and I also have, this is a medium light, so it's a 200. And that's what that looks like. So beautiful, beautiful. And I mean, you can tell, obviously, that I'm easily able to go over the blended brushes, which is why I do those first, because you can't even tell that that was underneath of these, right? So, and then I believe I used black for the hair, and I did a light black. If I can find my light black. It's always weird to me, this light basic black, so the color doesn't look black, so it's always hard for me to find. So do my best to not pull those off the wrong way. But yeah, I think I did these in black. I might use the other side. I might not have closed this all the way. It's not going on smooth. Oh no, what did I do? My pen, it's like a brand new pen. I think I messed it up somehow. It just feels really dry. Okay, all right. I'm sorry. Black marker blend. It's just not fine enough to get that top. I don't want to mess it up. Okay, let me use a different one. And I'm going to keep that one out so I don't need to grab it. All right, well, I'm going to use dark. Let's hopefully be able to see this. Oh, see how much smoother that is already. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. And hopefully you can get around all these flowers smoothly. I'm so disappointed. My black marker, it's all dried out. And honestly, it's very new. So I'm mad at myself here because I left the top off. I left it off on accident, or I left it so it wasn't closed perfectly. And it's completely dried out. So that's not good. Don't leave your markers open. Don't leave your blends open. All right, let me see if I can get this. So obviously you can do the girl's hair whatever color you want. I was using the light black because it was easier to see some of these like fine lines that are in her hair. But the dark black, I can still see them. They're just faint. But whoever receives the cards will be able to see them. They're just kind of hard to see. I don't know why I envisioned these girls when I was doing this the first time with long black hair. And that is it. Like, I am done coloring, obviously. Some people love to color. It's not really my favorite thing to sit and color. I feel like I am not as creative when it comes to like coloring. I'm very like traditional, and I don't know that I take a lot of risks with color, but yes, like very traditional, grass green, sun yellow, like I don't use a lot of crazy colors, but look how gorgeous. And then if you want to, I just got these in an old paper pumpkin thing, but if you want to add a couple of little gems, I don't think that, where's my take your pick? Okay, this is my take your pick tool. So I just got these from like an old paper pumpkin kit. And a paper pumpkin kit is a subscription kit that is a one-stop box that like is a great beginner box if you're just starting out. And a lot of times you have a bunch of leftover material. So I'm just trying to use up these little gems because I only had a few left. And you know, they're just like cute little pearldoms. They just elevate the card to the next level so that I can, you know, I'll share this with somebody and they're not going to know that these came from another kid or anything like that. So should I put one there? Like on the eye, maybe? Oh yeah, that looks okay, right? And maybe there's one on the spring as well. So let me see. So I can use this last one. But yeah, this is just recycled from something else. And look. I don't know if that's too much or stupid or silly. Silly. That's not nothing stupid, right? So that's card number 1. And here's my original design. So obviously very similar, easy to recreate for sure. Look how gorgeous. Look at these. So I used a little bit darker on the butterflies so that I could cover up my mistake on this one, but you can't even really see my mistake on this one. And then this one's my original. I'm so excited about this fold. It's super fun. It's super cute. Just a sweet little anything. Hope your spring is good. Okay, so card number 1 is done. And we can move on to card number 2. So this is card number 2, and this one, I wanted something simple because it's a super fun fold. So look at this card. It's going to open, it opens, okay, and it's set like this. So this moves from this side to this side, and then hoping your spring. So I had used that again because I thought that was it's perfect. That spring. I'm sorry, excuse me. Hoping this spring brings you many blessings. And then I just wanted something simple. Like I loved these birds. I thought they were awesome. And I wanted to showcase them so you could see just like how cutesy. Like there's so many cute little extra pieces in this set. So these little birds, this cute little hello. I think it's super dainty, tiny. And then look at this. It is an easel card. So it actually pops up and whoever receives it, they can sit it on their desk like that. And it says hello. And it's just like a nice little reminder. Hey, but I'm not sure if it's obvious. Like if you opened it, if you would be like, oh, like how does this card go? I don't know if it's obvious or not. When I designed it, I was like, I really love this an easel style, but it was definitely very challenging as well. So let's get started on this one. So let me stop talking so you can start writing down measurements, which I did use a scrap piece of white. So a scrap piece of white, a couple of designer series paper, 1 3/4 by 4, a couple of designer series paper and other 1 by 4, 1 1/8 by 4, and then I have a 3 by 3 square, and I have a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 square, and then I used these iridescent pastel gems that go and like coordinate with this paper. And then I also used some ribbon, and the ribbon is 5 inches. So I cut that 5 inches. And the ribbon is pale papaya ribbon. And here, I will show you. There is the code right there. You can see that. 160535. And that one also came in the set that was with this paper, which is the desert paper. So it looks like that desert paper. And then it's called Delicate Desert, 12 by 12 designer series paper. So, and this one is Cajun Craze, Calypso Coral, Gray Granite, Pale Papaya, Pink, Petal Pink, and Soft Succulent. So those are all the colors that coordinate, which it's really hard to see because this paper is like, here, let me see if I can pull this out so I can show you better. So there it is. Those are the colors that coordinate. So I know it's kind of tiny, but if you buy the paper, then you know all the colors that will coordinate. So these colors coordinate with this paper. So that's the first thing I do is I'll pick whatever designer series paper I'm going to use, and then I usually will pull all those colors, and then I start to create the card that whatever, you know, a very cohesive card. So this is the card back. And so this is a cardstock cut 11 by 4 1/4, 4¼ by 11, scored at 5½. It's scored at 4¼ and scored at 2¼ So then also on the inside, you're going to flip this and you're going to mark it at 2 1/8. All of my measurements that I use for this entire workshop are in inches. So at 2 1/8 inches, you're just going to mark it with a little pen right there. So that's the midpoint. And so when I cut so that I get this diagonally, this diamond shape. So we're going to cut from here to here and from here to here. So obviously on the back of that, it's going to have a little tiny mark right there where it's the middle. So it's just going to make it easier for cutting purposes. So if you need the measurements, sorry, let me get out of the way so that you can write down all the measurements if you don't have them yet. Just one last second. Hopefully you can see all that. And let me move all that there. This is going to be like the very last thing that I do. The ribbon is going to be like one of the very last, actually it's not last. Okay, it's going to be soon. So, okay. All right, so you have all that. Pause, and let's start building this card. So, let me set this aside and set all these aside. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to fold and burnish the score line. So I'm going to fold like that and use my bone folder to get those really nice crisp folds like that and like that. So if you were making just like a regular fold, then at 11 by 4¼ then you would take it from one side and then you have those two other score lines that you add. So this last one though, we're going to cut diagonally from this one to here and there to there. And we're going to flip it. So we drew in it backwards like this. And I'm going to try desperately not to bend my cardstock this time. Okay. And show you how I do this. So I flip it and it's already marked. So, because that's the first thing that I did, I went ahead and marked that little spot so that I would have a point to go to. So, and then I'm just going to line up this score line right here with this mark right here that I made. So I just line it up like that. Boom, boom. When I close it, I should be able to see the score line and the pen mark that I made, and then I'm just going to cut just like that diagonally, and we're just going to hope that it works out perfectly. Then on this side, same exact thing. So I'm going to completely flip it over. I'm going to put the score line right on the cutting seam. I'm going to put the pin mark right on the cutting seam, and I'm going to do my best to cut right diagonally, right like that. So it makes a nice point, and if I'm lucky, I cut that pin mark off so you don't see that on my card. But then your card looks like this. Okay, so the next step will be to start building it with the designer series paper. So the designer series papers that I have are going to fit in these little spaces. So I start to build it like this, and I'm going to use my glue as I attach everything here. So I'm going to use this 1x4 designer paper, and you can use it, it's double-sided, so you can use the green side or the orange side. I thought the orange side was a little bit more cheerful, which is why I chose it, but obviously it's personal preference here. And then I told you, I move it around until it looks about even. I use just my own personal site. I don't try to measure it or anything. And then I push that down. This one is 1 3/4 by 4. So I think that the hardest thing for me when I was first starting out was the measurement. So I'm very meticulous about, you know, one step at a time and showing off those measurements, because it was so hard for me when I first started. I was constantly wasting paper because I wasn't cutting properly. And I still do it, but less, just a little bit less now. So that, and then this one, it's a little bit bigger. So this one's 1 1/8 by 4. So a little bit more space here on this one. And this is the one that I'm actually going to do here, but I'm going to wait for a second because I'm going to pop this one up on dimensionals. So I want to make sure I stamp first, which I actually should have stamped first to begin with, as far as like, so if I messed up, I wouldn't be wasting all of my pieces. So, all right. And I used the spring one again because I really loved the sentiment. I don't know why. I just kept getting pulled to it. It was very beautiful. And all the other sentiments were small. Like, I thought that this one, you know, I like the ooey gooey sentiments that say lots of stuff, and that, you know, I just thought that this was the best sentiment from this set. Obviously, I love the thank you and the birthday, but then I'm just going to put that down. That is all personal preference, right? So hopefully, oh yeah, perfect. Okay. So now that I have my sentiment down there, now if I wanted to, I could add that, but let's do this part first. So this 3x3 square is going to go on first. So I'm only going to do glue on this right here. So I'm going to, and I'm going to do it kind of towards the center so it doesn't accidentally leak out and mess with my other sides, because it's going to need to fold. So I'm just going to do like a triangle right inside there. And then this piece is going to go on first, and I'm going to line it up with the bottom and the sides, and it should hopefully match up pretty well. It's a little off, but I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not perfect, and that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'll be able to hopefully salvage that. That's why I told you, like, the measurements are a little bit more difficult, but I mean, when you put in the extra work, you always come out with like a super fun project. So hoping that, you know, this still will turn out super cute. All right, and then I'm going to take this 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and that's going to go right over top of that one. So, and then you can, it looks like if you flip this around, you can kind of, not really, yeah, it doesn't really matter. I'm like trying to line up the pattern, but I don't think it matters. It's nothing that's like super obvious in one direction, so I think we'll be good this way. So what I tried to do for this class too, since I was doing pretty advanced folds and stuff, I just laid off all the dies and stuff. So I did mostly everything just cutting squares and, you know, cutting rectangles so that it was easier, so you're not like dealing with a bunch of other tools and stuff like that. But for this top square, I did use my, I think my stitched, I don't think it was my stitched rectangles, my stylish shape dies for the top piece. But since I did not grab that out, I'm just going to quickly grab that so that I can show you how I did that. Luckily, it's right on top. And so this is Stylish Shapes. So this is the only dies I used, I think, for the whole thing, just to make things easy. And then I think I just used this layer. So the second to biggest layer. And I'm just going to create a square. I thought that I did already, but I guess not, because I don't see it. It's not obvious. So I'm just going to grab a quick piece of white so that I can cut this up. And I will cut a little piece. And then I'm just going to run this through the embossing machine to make a beautiful square with some beautiful stitching. And so, and if you're not familiar with an embossing machine or what it can do, let me show you. One of the things that it can do, this is a die cut, and it makes this really beautiful border on your paper. So, and then this is scrap paper. I can use that for something else later. And then I'm going to return this to this pack here so I don't lose this either. So I'll need that size, right? And then set those aside. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I can go ahead and, let's see, what do I want to do next? Okay, so one of the things I did with this card is I actually folded this down. So I'm going to use this ribbon, and I'm going to use a couple of pieces of tape like this, and then I flip this on the inside here, and I'm going to attach it in here like this, one piece on this side, and then I'm just guessing where the middle is here on the other side so that this is nice and flat. And I think this will fit better like that. And then I'm going to use some glue. Okay, and you don't have to use that much glue. I kind of went overboard just now on the glue. But then I'm going to stick that down like that. And then I just hold it. And I actually, in hindsight, could have maybe moved that down a little bit, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. So that's going to put that in there and then hide all the extra ribbon. So you don't have to worry about that. And this is a cool, like, velvety ribbon that you can feel. It's got lots of texture, which is awesome. And then, so that glue, I'm just going to let that sit. And then this piece that I was talking about earlier, right here, is going to go here, and it's going to be up on dimensionals. So the dimensionals are going to pop it up and hold that easel into place. So I'm just going to add about 4, like maybe 1 on each corner, and then maybe even 1 in the middle here, like that. And let's add those. Okay. And we're just going to add this one right down here. So just giving it a little white border, put it across, and then that way when you set up your easel card, it's going to sit just like that, which is perfect. And then, like I said, I would probably move that down in hindsight. I always forget to do that with these super fun kind of, I like the way that this looks. And this is one of my favorite cuts of card. Just makes like a really cool looking design. I got a little bit of glue on here. Let me rub that off there. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. Actually, I'm lying. Oh, I have one more piece here. Cut designer series paper, DSP, designer series paper, 1/3, or 1 3/4 by 4. Sorry. And then let me set this aside. And this one I actually put on the inside here. So I just made the inside just as fun as the outside here. So let me see if I can't figure out how to do this. I'm just going to use my glue and have faith that it will go where it needs to go. So nice little glue. And I always kind of put my glue towards the middle just to make sure that I don't have seeping glue out the sides when I put stuff down. So I put that on the inside. because I thought it would make it more fun and pretty. So it looks like that. Okay, so now this base part is completely finished, and now I just need to add to the front here. So again, I used my blending brush and I made it that, let's see, I think I looked on the paper here. So on this paper, Cajun Craze, Calypso Coral, Granite Gray, Pale Papaya, Petal Pink, and Soft Succulent. So I think I used maybe Pale Papaya. Let's use, let me see. I think I used a different yellow, but I'm gonna use Pale Papaya and see what that looks like. I think the Calypso Coral is gonna be too pink, so hopefully this won't look crazy. So this is Pale Papaya. I actually would probably prefer a different blending brush too. Here, let's grab some Pale Papaya. Let's see what this is gonna look like. So let's do Pale Papaya all the way around, just like so. Give it a nice little background. There we go. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of grass for my bunny. Let me see, I don't have, here's a block. And then, and I think I'm going to use the Old Olive for the grass. So I'm just going to set that aside, get my grass, which I just put on, get my grass, Old Olive. I think Old Olive is so pretty. It makes a lovely grass. So I'm just going to do a little bit of grass here, right at the bottom, just like that. And I use my chamois to clean up all my stamps. I'm sorry, I haven't been showing that. Usually I am very good about using my chamois to clean off my stamps, but okay, so that is done. And then I'm going to add my birds with a little bit of Memento. And here are my birds, which I told you I just love these birds. And let's see. Again, I think I did my sentiment first. I'm going to do the birds a little bit different on this one. See if I can't make it look cute like this. And then I did a little hello. So I got to make sure I clean up all of my stamps when I'm done here with my chamois. So hello, hello, there we go. Hello, right there in that top corner. And I also I keep putting my black away. I need my black. So I did some little bunnies. So, and maybe I'll just move him down a little bit because I can color him in. And then I also did one on some scrap paper. So this is one of the corners that I cut off from the original design. So I'm just going to use that and I'm going to cut him out like that. Now I think I'm good with this. And then I colored them gray. So they are gray granite. So gray granite, dark gray granite and light gray granite I grabbed. So I'll just do the dark one first. And this is going to be okay. Like, even though you can see the grass right here, I am going to cover him with the other bunny. Is going to be kind of standing in front of him. So I'm going to do a lighter one here. And I don't have to be perfect on this one because I'm planning to cut him out. So little pink in the ear, little pink in the ear, like so. And then this little guy, I'm going to take my snips and I'm just going to cut him right out. And maybe if I can find my snips that I've lost from myself here. Okay, here we go. I have a couple of pairs now, and it's funny how everybody always wants to borrow my snips in my house. Like my sons want to use them because they cut so nice. And so what I really like, I will say this. I don't really love like the fussy cutting part of it, like this part of it, but I love the way that it looks when you do. When you take that extra time and you cut something out really small like this, I love the way it looks. So it can't be all bad, right? It just takes time. And of course, my time is very valuable. I've got 3 small children, and so little cards that take lots of time sometimes are a little bit much for me right now, but I love the way it looks so much. I think he's gonna be so cute. And it adds and it elevates to your card or your design when you just take a little bit of extra time to do something like this. Because watch, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a small dimensional and I actually might even use 2. I'll use 2 small dimensionals and I'll put this up on his face like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer them so it looks like there's more than one. Plus, he's going to pop off the card, and I really like the way that looks. So, and I can do him back here or here. I actually might even cut closer. Right here. There we go. And then I'm just going to layer him. So he's right next to his friend right here. And they're both checking out these birds. Which you can leave the birds just like that. Or I colored mine blue. And I believe I used Tahitian Tide to make little bluebirds. And if you notice, I'm using my blends again. I love my blends. My blends are so fun. They just paint like it's a beautiful painting. And I just love it. I love the paintbrush side. Just personal preference. Everybody has their own likes and dislikes, right? I love this. So look at that. Now it looks like the birds are flying away and the bunnies are just watching them. It's so sweet. It's so gentle. I could even do, another set of birds if I wanted to here. Like maybe let's just do some more. Let's just see what it looks like and see if we like it, I think that I like the way that second layer of birds looks, but let's do more. Let's do some over here. Let's do some up here. See how that looks. There's just a ton of birds. I love these. I love all the sweet little dainty extras that came with this kit. That came with this stamp set. So look, they're just watching a sky full of birds just fly over top of them. And then obviously your easel card's going to sit up like this. So you want to make sure you attach it like this. So, and you can attach it up on dimensionals if you want to give it some more elevation, but I didn't think that it needed it. So let's see what that looks like. So, and you can, if you choose to, you could even, you know, move this bunny around until he made you happy. You know, you could move him off of the white. Usually the dimensionals, I mean, they stick great. Once they're on, they stick good. Like I've already pushed these down nice. But sometimes if you put them down and you're not quite happy, you can move it before it gets too crazy. And then last but not least, I'm just going to add a couple of these really cute iridescent pastel gems. So, and these came with this delicate desert set. So, and I just grabbed a couple of these gems. So like I can just put that there, get a little white one, put it over here maybe. Where did I put them? Put one up here, and let's get a blue one. So I did one of each color. I'm just gonna put that there. And then this card is also done. So that's card number 2. Done and done, you guys. Oh my God, we are just cruising along. So, and here's my original, so you can see the difference. So I used a yellow here, some kind of yellow, but I didn't like the way that looked as much. I think that pale papaya looks a little bit better. And you can see kind of like this, I didn't blend that very well. I needed to work on my blending skills apparently. There we go. That's card number 2. Okay. Super cute. All right. So I saved the best for last, of course. So the very last one. All right. So I will show you, and I'm really excited about this. So I didn't end up using this. Obviously, I cut some more scrap white paper. Always good for stuff, right? All right, so here is card number 3. So I am super excited about this one. Let me show you. So you take this apart like this and like this. So obviously, it'll take me a second to tie this again, but I added on like a little tag and I put a little thank you. And then look at this fun fold, you guys. Look how cute. So it's a card on the inside and on the outside. I love this fold. It makes me so happy. It's like an envelope, you know? It's like, oh, I love it. And it fits inside of an envelope, which is even cooler. Okay, so let me show you how I made this. And this is the last one, and then I will leave you alone. I promise, I swear. Okay, so let me just set this aside. And obviously I can make this look cuter. So somebody taught me the perfect way to tie the bows is to do the opposite of what feels comfortable. So this feels less comfortable for me to go this way, and then I pull, and usually it makes like a very nice bow. Just like, and then I just kind of pull and twist until I get it where I want it, and then you can add on this little tag. So, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do another bow or if I just wanted to leave the strings long. So you can tie it in a knot or tie it in a bow, right? Like the song, however you like. And then I kind of liked it so you could still see that thank you, but then I added a little trinket because I don't usually know even, I always am like, I have these, I need to use them. I don't really know what I'm doing, but let me use these. Okay, so last card, let's get this going because it's already pretty late here. So I just want to make sure I can get through all of these and show off all these really fun designs, all these really cool things I got going on. And then let's see if you can see all these measurements. So once you start building this card, it's pretty obvious where the cuts go. So obviously this is cut 5.5 by 8.5, but then you score at 3 1/4. Then you flip it and you score at 1 1/4. And what I mean is I scored it on one side, then I flipped the paper and I scored it on the other side. So I didn't flip it like this per se. I flipped it this way to this way. So one side is going to be scored at 3 1/4. So obviously that's this side. And then I flipped it and then I scored this one at 1 1/4. Just like that. So that makes that fun fold right there. And then I have a couple of spare white pieces that I'm going to use for all of the other stuff that I did. So these are the main cuts, and then you just need some scrap white paper. You need about 16 inches of burlap ribbon, or any ribbon. It doesn't really matter if it's burlap or not. And then I also used a little bit of twine. So again, this is baker's twine from the Essential Pack, but you don't need to use that color. You can use whatever color you want. The same with the designer series paper. I was just trying to use up all of this Valentine's Day themed paper, but it also is flowery. So I was like, okay, springtime, it'll work for this class. So if you want to pause the video right here, write down the measurements of what you need. These two pieces are the same, and these two pieces are the same, just different colored designer series paper. That is the only difference. All right. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll with this one. So easy. You're going to be incredibly impressed with yourself when you finish this one and you're like, oh, I could do that. So easy. I will say, when you cut the designer series paper, it's just take your time, slow down, cut it so that it makes sense. Okay, so this is the white insert, and this is where I'm going to start. White insert, this is 5 1/4 by 3 7/8. All of the measurements are in inches. So, and the first thing I'm going to do is this part is going to go right inside here, just like this. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp first. So this is the cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this first, set this aside. And I'm going to use, I used this really fun piece here. So let me put the birds back. Let me get this piece. And then I used a lot of mint on this color. So this is coordinating with this paper, which is this Valentine's Day paper that I'm trying to use up. So Country Floral, which I love this paper so much. It's so beautiful and happy. Okay, so it coordinates with Balmy Blue, Mint Macaron, Mossy Meadow, Petal Pink, and Sweet Sorbet. So those are colors. So, and I told you I used a lot of mint. So I used the mint, and I create like a border. I created a border here, and actually, just give me 1 second. I got a little dog hair on my stamp. Okay, so, and I just did the corners. So 1, and then I did 2. Oops, see, I got a little smudge there. But I might be able to salvage this side. I'm going to give it a try. I think I got a little bit of ink on my fingers. You definitely get ink on your fingers, but let's see. Like I said, if I can salvage, because I do also use this cute little vine. You're going to love this. Watch this. Let's see if I can't cover that up with this cute little vine. Look at that. You can't even see I messed up. It does kind of curve one way, so just be mindful of that when you are stamping the sides here. So I just did a little curve on each side, just like that. And then the next thing that I did, I'm going to go ahead and I can glue this down. So of course you can stamp a sentiment if you would like a sentiment for this one, but I left it blank because this is just a thank you. So I want to be able to use it for anyone. I was saying I really love this dainty designs. It made like a very beautiful border. And I like the girls that come with it. The spring set, they're super springy, but doesn't usually or doesn't always apply to everyone. So I tried to keep a lot of these cards like not generic, but like in a way so that you could send them to anyone. So I think for me at least, I liked leaving them a little bit more plain, using the designer series paper to make the card really shine. So I'm going to do this 5 1/4 by 1, and I'm going to do that there. And then it's double-sided, so obviously you can use either side of the color of the designer paper that you like the best. Oops. Oh, I was going too fast. See? I got glue on my card. Can't believe I just did that. Gotta be careful. Grab it off before it sticks. I don't have my cards sticking together. Hopefully I can fix that and salvage that. That's what happens when I'm tired and I'm rushing. I should just slow down. Slow down. Take my time. I think I'm in the clear for the most part for the kiddos. I shouldn't say that now. I should wait until the end of the video to say that. Now somebody's going to start crying, right? Don't start crying. Okay, so that's one side. And then this is 3 by 5 1/4, so 5 1/4 by 3. And that's going to go on the inside here. I kind of really loved that it's double-sided, so you can do both sides. Like, you open the card, you get lots of designer series paper, lots of color, lots of fun in the fun fold, right? Love, 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 love. Okay. So I will admit that I did another bunny because I love the bunny so much. But you can do, there's birds, there's stars, there's a little basket. I think I did the bunnies with a basket on this one. So I'm going to do the bunnies with a basket on this one so I can show you. So here's my little bunny. And you can stamp him right on there, but because I got a little bit of glue, I'm going to stamp him on a piece of scrap paper. So I'm just going to grab the scrap paper and I'm going to stamp my little bunny right at the bottom here. And then I'm also going to grab and stamp this cute little basket that came with this set. So you could totally use this for Easter if you wanted to. Cute little spring set. And then I definitely can't remember. I think I colored him bronze in my original one. Or, oh, I think maybe soft suede. Bronze is too dark. Yes. I have a light soft suede and dark soft suede. And then I think I used ivory, I believe, for, where's my ivory? Here it is, from a basket. And then I think I used mint, the light and the dark mint. So I used light soft suede, that's what this color is. And I did my bunny. So stinking cute, right? Cute little brown bunny. I love bunnies. They're so sweet looking. Love him. Okay, and then I did my basket with this ivory. I don't know why, I just thought that that would be a cute, pretty basket. And then I start with the light, and then I shade with the dark. So start with the light all the way, color all those pretty leavies, and then I come in with the dark, and then I can just add some like little accents of dark. That's it. So easy, right? I'm not going to go crazy. I am going to use a little bit of petal pink for the inside of the bunny's ear. And then I'm going to cut these out with my snips. Save that for later. Here, let's get them cut out. So another good thing about these small designs is that they're pretty easy to fussy cut because they're so small. Just super quick fussy cut. Not going to take all day, nothing super intricate. And then I think I'm going to put him right there. Just adds another little bit of depth. And then, so this basket's missing a little bit of the top. And I think and believe that that's so that if the girls want to hold it in their hand, that it looks the right way. But I have made a couple of cards using this set now, and I haven't had any of them where the girls are holding the basket, so I just am ignoring that it's got a cut on the top here. and just not letting it bother me. So now I'm just going to use a little bit of glue. And if you can see the glue, then that's enough glue. And I'm going to push this down right here. And then I added this little bunny right over here, right over top of that smudge I made earlier. So still plenty of room for a sentiment in there, right? So I mean, that part is done. This is so simple. Actually, I'm gonna grab this 5 1/4 by 3. I'm gonna grab, you can use either side, but obviously I'm using this side. Really love this pattern and color. It's very, very cute. This is just a very special thank you or birthday card or whoever you want to give a very fun design card to. 1 by 5 1/4. I like to just repeat all my measurements so you know what I'm using when I'm using it here. I'm going to do this one here. And so it's kind of popping up a little bit too much for my liking, so I'm going to take my bone folder and come back across it with my bone folder here. Fold and varnish those score lines a little bit better than I did originally. Sometimes I'll even turn it over like this and I'll get it on the back side. So it makes a nice, beautiful card front, right? So that part is done. So now I'm just going to use a little bit of, I'm going to use my thank you sentiment. So let me get my thank you sentiment, and I just used a piece of tiny 1/2 inch, not even perfectly straight, which obviously you can cut out and make it all pretty if you would like to. You can use one of your cuts, your die cuts to make it cute, but I just liked that it was kind of, I don't know, I just didn't want to do that on these cards. I didn't want to go crazy with the die cuts. So I'm just going to do a thank you, like kind of close to that end, because I'm going to come back over it. So one side, I'm just going to cut it like maybe there, so I have enough room to put a little hole. And then on this side, I'm just going to do a quick little, I do boop and boop like that, and then I just kind of adjust till it looks like how I want it to look. Like so. And then you can use a hole punch, you can use your, on the other side of your tool, there's a pointed tool, so you can use this tool if you wanted to. You could make a little hole, but I have a fun old tool called a hole punch, and I'm just gonna hole punch it with my hole punch. So it looks like this now, okay? So I'm just gonna even shorten that a little bit more close to my hole, right there. And then I'm going to take this baker's twine, I'm just gonna cut a little piece. So this is about 20 centimeters. And then I'm going to, this is 16 inches. I cut this first. So it's like about the length of the paper, that if you have the fancy paper here. And then I used one of the trinkets. So let me grab one of those. So these are the open leaf trinkets. And you can use more than one if you want to, but one I found just kind of does the job, right? So I layer them like this, and then I use the baker's twine to feed my thing through like that. So that's what it's looking like. And then I'm taking this putting it around like this. And let's see. So the last time I did this, I think I did a little bit more than 16 inches, and I was like, man, this is way too long. Let me just measure this time and do it a little bit shorter. So a little bit harder when it's shorter, right? But okay, so do this the opposite way of the way that feels comfortable, and that helps you make this the perfect bow. Usually, hopefully. Don't let me lie to you. Don't let me lie. So there, we got a cute little bow going on. Hold on, I'm gonna have to pull it and get it. I might have to do that one again. So at this point, you can, if you wanted to, tie this around right here, but I just find it easier to tie the bow first. That is my own personal preference. And maybe I should have just left it longer. Okay, because I did 16 inches this time, because that's about how long the other one is. It's a little bit longer, and I thought that it was too long, but now this isn't working, so just kidding. Hold on. I need my reverse tweezers, right, to hold this into place. And it is super awkward for me to do a backward. It seems like a backward bow, but it's just the opposite of what you would normally do here. The opposite of what you would normally. Why wouldn't it come through? Come through. Come through, come through. It's so thick. I can't see where it's coming through. All right, maybe I should have just left it. Because it is so tight. Okay, so maybe I do want it longer than 16 inches. Maybe go like 20 inches. I feel like you're just gonna waste a lot though. I don't know. So yeah, I might do more. This is just not working. I'm gonna need my burlap. Let's try this again. So now, I think when I originally did it, I just kind of like wrapped it around twice, like that, and then like that, so I should have plenty, right? It was way too much, which is what this feels like already, but that's okay. Because this is for somebody special, we can give them a little bit of extra ribbon to take with them, right? I think I folded this the wrong way. That way. Didn't know this was going to be a class on folding bows, did you? Some people do them and they're amazing every time. Then there's people like me and it's like super hit or miss. Sometimes I do it like I did it earlier and it worked out great. Now I'm fussing with this way too long. And it's way longer than I need, but it's easier to tie if it's long, right? I just don't like to be wasteful. So, and then I'm just gonna wrap this around my bow here and make it so you can see the thank you and my cute little trinket. And get this down, hopefully. That will work. And then do a second bow here. Pull this a little tight. Make sure that you can see that. Make a tiny, tiny bow. And then if you want to, if it's not sitting quite right, you can just kind of finagle it till it's sitting kind of where you want it to. And then you can use a glue dot just to hold it into place. So that's just a little trick to keep it where you want it, and so you can read it. And so the recipient can read it too. So I'm just gonna, thank you, like that. And then they got a lot going on here, but let's see, I think, okay, so this is one of the other stamps in this set, and I stamped the envelope, but I wanted to show you how to put this one in an envelope. So this one's done. So got 2 beautiful thank you cards ready to be sent out. But this one, when you send it, you definitely want to put it in the card upside down, in the envelope upside down. So you put it in upside down like that, and it'll fit right in, just like that. And then you can mail it. And as long as it weighs less than an ounce, it only takes a stamp. It only takes 1 stamp to send it, even though it looks this gorgeous, right? And you can trim the sides here. You can trim them and make them look pretty, like so. If you like, you can keep moving it and messing with it until it makes you happy. So that is my 3rd and final card. So now all of my cards are done. Again, here's the host code for the month. Here's the website to shop if you see anything that you like. You can follow me at Handmade with Tara on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all of the different platforms. And if you want to join my team, we have an amazing team. We have an awesome team. We are super supportive to one another and help each other with all kinds of different things, but we also craft a lot. We make a lot of fun projects like these. So that's something worth looking into. You can just join now, join my team. And tomorrow, I think it might even be March 1st, 2023. So we have an exciting month coming up. We're going to have some new releases of products coming out. So definitely look for those going forward. And thank you so much for watching my tutorial on the Spring Blessings set. And I will see you next time. Thank you.